Hello, good afternoon. What's the time? It's about 4:19, I think, or thereabouts. Um, just gonna give it a few moments. It's Friday. It's that Friday feeling. What does that mean? Anyway, it's going to be another one of those rapido ones. And just let me know when a couple of people are on, and then I'll start. Again, sound check first of all. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, obviously, let me know. If you can't, let me know too. Um, hey, Heather. Fantastic to see you here. Everything all right with the sound? Can you hear me? Yep, fantastic. What time is it? Well, it's good afternoon from London. Good evening somewhere else, I'm sure. A good night and a good morning, to friends and family and stalkers and hey, and good to see you all. Good to see you, Shaheen. And wow, we've got the whole world coming on very quickly, which is nice because it's a rapido one. Before we get into it, just make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you got yourself some pens, colored pens, ideally. I'm not discriminatory. I'm just saying get some colored pens. Think about it. Paper, a box of tissues for the tears of joy or sadness or all of the above. And yes, Nikki, cheesecake. That's what it means. Shaheen, you can plead the fifth, the privilege against self-incrimination. And that's a very old, very, very old friend of mine. Not old as in age, but in terms of time I've known. Kathy, good to see you. And yep, Shane, a short pencil better than a long memory. But have something to write it on. Yeah. I think I did a live the other day and someone wrote back and said, well, they were actually in the car and they didn't have any pencils, just eyeliner and eye pencils and mascara. So they managed to write notes all over using their sort of eyeliner or eye pencil or whatever. So, one of the things I talk about is that it's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. What's this? Newton? Sonia? Great. Well, I shall begin in a moment. Get a sip of water first of all. There we go. Cheers. Good day to you. For those of you wondering, yes, he does, eat other things apart from cheesecake. That's just water. Okay, so we'll begin. Are we ready to crack on? Are we ready? And if you're not, hard cheese. Not cheesecake, but hard cheese. Right, okay. So first of all, it's Friday. We all know that. I hope so anyway. Just got to say a quick hello to Tally. Very elusive person, Tally. Yes, you know you are. Lindsay, good to see you. Hello. So here we are, Friday. People keep telling me, I know, we want to see more lives, more lives, more lives. So yes, no problem. They'll be coming. But talking about lives and talking about life, how is this year going for you? How is this year, this month, this week, today? How is it going for you? Everywhere you look, just about, there's signs of Christmas, although some department stores, those that are still left, have been putting up sort of Christmas messages for almost about 6 weeks. Our brother Steve, good to see you here. Been putting up some Christmas messages for about 6 weeks, if not longer. And I was talking to a client this morning, and he was telling me about his business and some of the people that he deals with. And it's incredible how, I don't know, you get to like October, and a lot of people just sort of put their foot down and say, oh, well, that's it, this year's over. I'll start my resolutions in 2019, some people in 2020, some people 2021. And I say this not just in jest, but some people have been creating resolutions, for about 10 years and haven't actually implemented anything. So they've become the master of the resolution writing, perhaps, and they've become masters at not following up, not actually implementing. So are you being truthful to yourself? Um, and ultimately, life is about being authentic. It's not about, we're all connected. We're all part of energy, this sea of energy, But ultimately, the only energy you really have control over is your own. And if you're not authentic to yourself, then it's very hard to try and impact other people. Although I do know a few people out there that try and make, life miserable for other people. I keep away from people like that, and they've become masters of procrastination. I've got a brilliant idea, got a great idea, got a great, I've got this pressing problem. And then they do nothing about it. So how authentic are you about your life? Linda is one of these superstars who just gets on with things. Love to see you here, Linda. So really today's Rapido one is more a series of questions to you. And feel free to put it in the comment, your answers, or inbox me. But ultimately, it's write the questions down for yourself and write the answers down for yourself. I mean, those people, who come on my super coaching programs, they know that I give a lot of homework. In fact, a lot of homework before the coaching, during the coaching, after the coaching, and I keep them honest, and I'm sort of relentless and ruthless about making sure they implement the advice, the strategies, the systems, the processes, the procedures. Because the most important thing I have is, apart from my love of cheesecake and, shares in the cheesecake industry, the most important thing I have is my time. So, and one of the things I always say to people is, if I go to my website, all the W's, tkcleadership.com, the testimonials are fantastic. And one of the things I say is, two promises I give. Number one, I will never, ever, 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 ever waste your time. And number two, I will never, ever, 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 ever allow you to waste mine. Because that's all we have. It's a finite resource. Money can come and go and come back and go and come back. It's great. Your health can go up and down, up and down, up and down. Relationships can go up and down, etc. But I'll say no more. But time is a finite resource, and the most time you had was the day you were born. Since then, the clock's been ticking. So this idea of procrastination it's really self-sabotage on the biggest scale, in the most nasty way. Procrastination, it's a disease. It really is. So less procrastination and let's get on with it. One of the things, I've made some notes down as well because it's important. Let's take notes. We talked about your best life and are you waiting for 2019 or 2020? What are you? What are you waiting for? I know my brother Steve did a live today and talked about goals. And goals are really, really important. I always say, if you don't have any goals, then you're scoring on goals. Yeah. If you can't measure and monitor what you're doing towards a defined purpose, then really you're setting yourself up to fail. Now that's up to you, but that's not the way I lead my life. And one of the things that you've got to get straight is look, no one's life is perfect, and we can always keep improving. Yeah. So what are your goals? What are your goals that are important to you, not other people? For those people who are in sort of network marketing businesses and those type of businesses, they'll ask the opinion of 20 or 30 people who, whether it's a good thing or not a good thing, etc. Look, if you're committed to a business, you've got to be invested in it. Yeah, you've got to believe it in yourself. Because what I usually find is the people sitting next to you aren't usually going to be paying your bills. Yep, they're not going to pay for your mortgage. They're not going to pay for you if you get ill, to recover and all your medical expenses. So don't ask the opinion of people who don't have your best interests at heart. Decide what you want. So what were your goals for this year? And if you say you didn't write any down, then the chances are you're exactly where you deserve to be. Yeah, sounds blunt, sounds painful, but nothing is as painful as a life not lived. So I'm not doing this to sort of curry favor with you, or it's nice, just nice to have friends, etc. But ultimately, the most important thing is I'm trying to share some information with you, stuff that I share with my super coach clients, stuff I share, in Ivy League universities. People pay very handsomely for it, and so they should, because they understand the importance of time, action, implementation, all these important things. So, what are your goals? What are you doing about them? Write this down. What are your goals? And review your goals, because your goals will change over time. Your goals will change over time. You could be in a new relationship. You may have had some bad news. You may have a bereavement. Things will change. But that doesn't mean, that you just say to yourself, well, because things are going to change, I'm going to do nothing about it. Because, you could be on the right road. You could be in the right business. But if you go to sleep long enough, you will be run over and you'll be run out of business. That applies to anyone and everyone. Doesn't matter how big your organization is. Yeah. Whether it's network marketing, or you're a retail business, or you're on the internet. Things change. The only constant is change. You got that? Good. By the way, if you find value in this, do share. Do share with other people, because you just never know who could benefit from this message. Hopefully you, and hopefully your friends, and so share in a group, share among your friends, etc. So, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are your goals? If you haven't written any down, write some down today. Don't wait till 2019, because the chances are you'll be at the Christmas party. Yeah, you'll be at the Christmas party, and then after that's a New Year's, and you write down your goals, and then you'll get to like February and then March, and some people will then say, oh, well, it's third of the year gone, I'll start in the summer. And then the summer comes and the autumn, it's another year gone. So if that's how you want to lead your life, my friend, then really, you're not really living. I feel sorry for you. I really do. I feel sorry for you. But I'm not going to spend more time feeling sorry for you, because I would get on with my life. Some of the things people say, Kieran, you teach around the world, and sometimes you're brutal. I'm talking to you from a place of caring and compassion and love, because it's important you get this. Yeah. And, there are good people out there that would help you, myself included. Many of the people on this group already, will help each other, but you've got to learn to ask. Yeah, got to ask. So if you haven't written your goals down, do it today. Don't say, oh, well, 8, 9, 10 months of the year have gone by, whatever. I'll do it next month, because that's just procrastination. Again. And some people are professionals at procrastination. Try and say that if you've had too many vodkas. I don't even drink, but I'm just saying to you, that's a Hennessy moment there. That's a different story. But yeah, some people are professional at procrastination. So what are your goals? What's actually important to you? What is really important to you? Do you know? I mean, honestly, do you know what's important to you? If you don't, I can't tell you. You've got to know yourself. Find out what's important to you. What are the changes you want to make? And here's another question for you. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Whose permission are you waiting for? Heather, what do you say? We've got no hope. Whose permission are you waiting for? Whose anointing or blessing or okay, you can do it, or a pat on the back or a kick on the backside? Whose are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Too many people, most people who are, say, not self-employed, but if you're working with somebody else and they give you a deadline, yeah, you'll achieve that deadline, because if you don't do it, you're going to get smacked around the head with a wet fish or something. But it's gonna show up in your appraisal. It's gonna show up in your report that week. Someone is going to tell you, step up. Yeah. So whose permission are you waiting for in your own life? And remember, it's very, very rare that if you're working for somebody else, that person is going to be some great benevolent soul who really wants your best interest at heart. It's rare. I'm not saying people like that don't exist. I mean, I know in my businesses, people love working with me, but it's an interdependence. We support each other, but people like that are rare. So if you're working with somebody else and there's a deadline, guess what? You always make it. Yourself, this is about accountability. What are you waiting for? I know that a lot of people talk about, being scared of failing. But the thing is, if you don't follow your dream, your goal, you've already failed. If you don't follow your dreams, your goals, you've already failed. Write that down. Very important. Some people are saying, oh, geez, Kirit, I feel so much better now. Well, bloody hell, you should. This is important. Jennifer, good to see you. This is, I don't want you to feel bad, but I want you to feel alive. It's really important you do. And if you fail, you learn something. Thing is, you're always either learning and growing or you're dying. And I always say to people, the latter, although inevitable at some point, is not what you should be doing while you're alive. Do you get that? Death is inevitable. But just because it's inevitable doesn't mean you give up now. And a lot of people have given up. Some very successful people have already given up. They've got into, I know somebody, I was speaking to somebody who's got into their mid-30s. And they say, life is tough. Don't mean to be rude, but they live by the mantra is, life's a bitch and then you die. Well, if that's your mantra, if that's what the fuel you're feeding your brain, no wonder you're falling down all the bloody time. Tough love. Lubna, Ian, you missed the Hennessy moment there. Just teasing you, brother. Get real with yourself. It's really important. You will always learn if you're prepared to learn. There are good people who will help you, but most people are too scared to ask for help. Some people say, well, I could fail, but you could also fly. You could take off. Things can get better for you. But you have to know what's important to you. Because if you don't know what's important to you, the chances of finding it by accident is slim and none. That's it. Slim and none. And don't know what happened there. I know we've got some building work going on, so there's a bit of a power outage there, but hopefully you can hear me again. Can you hear me again? Yeah, the Wi-Fi router went a bit pop, but we're back. So, in closing, it's a rapido one. What are your goals? If you don't have any, find some. Your goals. Otherwise, you're scoring own goals. Don't be scared to fail. In fact, don't be scared, full stop. There's two powerful emotions. I posted this on my Facebook profile, I think yesterday or the day before. Most people are motivated or driven by fear of all the things that can go wrong. And then they do go wrong. If you are scared all the time, you'll never ever live. You'll just survive instead of thrive through life. And you're better than that. And there's always a solution. There's always a system. There's always a strategy. Just got to ask the right people. I mean, I'll give you an example of people putting their heads together, right? This is for those people in say network marketing, for example. In fact, this is a network marketing example. In fact, as a team, there's a global business. One of these people actually approached me and said, Kirit, what are your fees for your Galactic Superstar program? So I told them, and after they had their second heart attack, the first one I told them, and the second time when they got up and said, how much? And I told them again. And actually it's tremendous value, because if you check the testimonials, you got people going from zero to hero, from verge of bankruptcy to multimillionaire in 18 months, etc. So these are tried and proven strategies by people all around the world. And they said, look, I'll tell you what I would like to do. I understand you do training at various corporations and organizations, a month. What does that cost? I said, well, it depends on the organization, depends on the remit. So they got together, 10 of them in their team got together and said, come and train us. We're all individual, we're all self-employed, but we all work in this network marketing organization. 10 of us together can afford your monthly fee. So that was some time ago, and I said, okay, let's make it work. That was about 4 months ago. The return on the investment is that each one of them is now earning an increase, an increase of, the average is about 128% on what they were earning before. So that's in 4 months, 128% increase. And I reckon by the time we get to the end of the year, they'll have at least 300 or 400% return on what they were earning before. So essentially what's going to happen is those people who were earning something per month will be earning that per week. So that's the kind of rapid transformation you can get. But what did they do? They didn't say, well, we'd love to get Kiri to help us, but we can't afford it on ourselves. They got together, they used their network marketing hat, got together and said, look, there's 10 of us. Would you, do a Zoom or a Skype, etc.? And we worked out the logistics. And I said, sure. And now they're prospering, their teams are growing, they're living a better life in 4 months. Rapido. So there's no point messing around. People say, well, there's no such thing as a short-term fix. Well, I don't know about short-term fix. I'm not into fixing things. I'm into finding solutions that can work rapidly and radically for a long-term transformation and a long-term life and a happy life. But you've got to get on with it. You can't just sit there and think, we'd love to get Kiri to work with us or for us, but we can't afford him. Ask me. You'd be surprised. I'm not expensive as you think. I'll tell you what's expensive. You're not taking the action in your own life. But this isn't a pitch about me. I mean, if you think I can help you, hit me up. Let's have a conversation. Let's have that conversation. If I can't help you, if I'm not the right fit for you, there'll be other people I can recommend you to. But hit me up. Ask me. I have the opportunity and the privilege of working with millionaires, billionaires, and I'm stepping up my own game. And I hold myself accountable to a very high standard. And that very high standard is called the YKJ principle. Now I'll explain that to you on another occasion, but the YKJ principle, and it's truly, it's changing my life, and I love it, and it keeps me on a very, very high accountability. Most people are not even accountable to anybody else, to themselves. Most people don't know what they're doing. So don't be most people. Find out what your goals are. Find out what's important to you. Find out why you're not taking the action, and tell yourself, and do the research. What is the action you need to be taking? Because if you're serious about it, you will take that action. Anyway, this is Kirit Pankani. It's a Rapido one. It's a Friday. Have some fun with it. Do the homework. If I can help you further, come back to me. Do share this with people that, in your groups, your friends, etc. But most of all, take on board the information. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll say bye for now.